Hello and welcome to another random mini dungeon video. I've done 3 of these so far, so let's get the prompt list out and roll a d20 and see what happens. Okay, we got number 11. What's number 11? It is the Lich's Crypt. Okay, let's make a prompt list and see what happens. So for the entrance we rolled a 4, which is a grave. Okay, and then for the special stuff we got a sarcophagus and an ancient spell book. Okay, interesting things to throw in there. For the unusual we got a gargoyle or gargoyles, a cursed weapon, both very interesting, unique things I think. And for regular things we got some old books, some zombies and some eerie torches. So eerie torches could be fun, we could light this in a strange way. And lastly for our exit, I still can't film a D4 properly, we got no way out, so there is no exit. Okay, so I did an isometric plan of what I thought the crypt would look like and transferred that to my drawing board. Apologies for the lighting at the start of this. When I started drawing this we had a thunderstorm all of a sudden, so my limited camera skills don't allow me to know how to actually light within a thunderstorm. So apologies for the weird lighting to begin with, it does get better. So I started off thinking about it and I thought let's do the most obvious kind of way rather than a gated community. I just wanted a regular graveyard. So maybe this is quite a difficult entrance to find and somebody's just dug it up to reveal kind of the entrance that leads into the crypt. So we get some stairs, some mud on the walls, and then the stairs leading up to the grave. I always find this is kind of the longest time I spend on any part of it is the entrance. It's been the same for all of them so far. I'm not really sure why. I'm sure there's a little bit of procrastination in there somewhere. But yeah, you know, this worked out reasonably well. Getting the steps in, making sure they kind of line up, which they don't, so there's maybe a little platform between the stairs and the grave that we can't quite see. Weirdly, I've drawn a lot of gravestones in the past. I did a graphic novel once about zombies and there was a lot of gravestones in that, so got very used to drawing those sort of shapes and having them at funny angles and things like that. So yeah, it sort of reminded me of this, and I was very pleased that I'll be able to put zombies in this as well. I love drawing zombies. So yeah, just a standard graveyard, bit of a hilly graveyard, all sorts of random stuff, random gravestones all over the place. Yeah, just to sell the idea that we're in a burial place. Okay, moving down. I wanted to draw a zombie almost immediately. I kind of really like the idea of zombies with stuff stuck in them. You know, one guy's got like a hatchet in his head, the other's full of arrows. I think there's a few of them full of arrows. And drawing that kind of torch on the wall, thinking about how I'm going to light this, you know, with the eerie light. So I was thinking maybe it's going to be a very strange light, a bit like a street light, I suppose, where, you know, under a street light everything's one colour. So I was kind of thinking of that for these. So just getting these zombies drawn. Kind of peasants at this point, or maybe a warrior or two. Quite why they're in the crypt we don't know yet, but yeah, you know, quite pleased with the zombies to begin with, and making sure that's got a nice big flame on that torch so that it can light a lot of this very dark crypt. Putting these cracks and little marks on the floor always helps sell it. You know, they give areas that are quiet kind of a little bit of detail. And sort of sell the direction and the isometric nature of it, because I don't use a ruler, I kind of like everything being a bit skewy. Okay, the gargoyle. My favourite gargoyle is the one in the old Hero Quest game. I think that thing is amazing and it's terrifying and it's brilliant. So I wanted to do something like that. And as I was drawing it amongst all these old books, I put some skulls in between the old books as well, just in case I forgot to put old bones in and things like that. I want the gargoyle to perhaps have an irrational fear of zombies, so perhaps it's staying perfectly still like a statue because it's actually irrationally afraid of the shambling dead. Weirdly, I know a lot of people who have an irrational fear of zombies. You know, even though they don't exist, I know a lot of people are quite afraid of them, which is a little bit strange, you know, but you know, we all have something we're afraid of. I'm afraid of a great deal of things myself, but zombies are not one of them. I actually think zombies are really cool. So yeah, making sure the gargoyle kind of looks menacing and trying to sell the fact that it's made of stone, with cracks and those sort of little dots I put on that indicate like a stone-like texture. But yeah, he was good fun to draw actually. You know, just sort of attaching him to his base, putting a few shadows on things. Yeah, you know, that was the gargoyle really, and a few bones lying around. Like maybe one or two zombies got a bit close, and he hacked them to pieces with that massive sword he's got. Another torch, you know, so we can really sell that eerie light that I'm planning on filling this place with. Yeah, this drawing actually went really smoothly. I go into these things with a very rough plan, but very rarely does it go according to plan. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm getting better at them, I don't know. Alright, the kind of centerpiece of this crypt is the sarcophagus, and I wanted to surround it with kind of zombies. So at this point I was starting to think, well, what's the story here? And I'm kind of imagining that this is like a great hero's grave, you know, like a saint maybe, and these zombies were once kind of this guy's followers or bodyguards or something, and whatever's going on with the Lich has kind of brought them back as shambling undead creatures. And I like to think that inside the sarcophagus is the hero or the saint. Kind of can't get out because you know, that stone lid is not designed to be removed easily. So yeah, just a little relief on top of, you know, like a knight holding a sword, and then just filling in kind of the details. So I like to think that the zombies have just kind of been animated, and that's where they're headed. I did a cloaked figure as well. I wasn't sure whether that's a zombie or a cultist or something, but you know, I'll leave that up to the viewer to decide. And then we've got another torch there, another bone. Again, filling in that brickwork, you know, little cracks and dots here and there, that just helps sell it, and it's not a ton of detail, so it doesn't detract the eye too much. So I'm quite aware with these things, it's quite easy to get very busy very quickly. Alright, then the cursed weapon had to be a black sword, I think, and the Lich is maybe funneling all of his evil into it. I kind of always think of Liches as kind of quite skeletal, and they always seem to be up to something. They don't seem to have an off day, do they? You know, they're not like a wizard who quite happily have a couple of pints and a little snooze in the corner. A Lich will always be doing something in my mind, so I like the idea that maybe this magic is what's reanimating everything in the crypt. He's been looking for this sword for quite some time, and now he's found it. So yeah, you know, kind of I like doing magical effects, so I really wanted there to be like kind of lightning coming out of his fingers and funneling through and into the sword, and doing whatever it is that magic does to cursed weapons to make them, I don't know, better, I guess. I put the big pile of bones underneath the sword, kind of thinking that would be cool if it was kind of sucking all the life force out of the bones. So yeah, you know, almost kind of finished this now. Yeah, I do get tired of doing brickwork, but there wasn't too much of it in this one actually, and just kind of putting the last little bits on here and there, and then we're kind of good really. Yeah, filling the detail in the bone pile. I wasn't sure whether I wanted it to have kind of, you know, manky kind of flesh or blood or anything like that, so I just kept it a kind of an ambiguous pile of bones and mush really. So yeah, I think there's a fine line between humour and gore, and it's quite easy to cross it, so I was kind of still wanted to keep it in line with the other drawings in this series of being quirky and funny rather than scary and a bit disturbing. Alright, now my favourite part, where I get my big fat stinky pen out and discovered that my big fat stinky pen is running out. So this first part is kind of lovely, you know, it makes everything really dark and nice, but I quickly realise, and it doesn't show up too badly on the video, but like it really starts to run out after this bit. So I've ordered a new set of pens because my other pen is kind of running out as well. It's funny how they all run out at the same time, isn't it? But yeah, this is where it desperately started running out, and I was desperately hoping I had enough ink in it left to complete the drawing, otherwise I'd be in real trouble. But we got it done, it was all good. And I kind of thought, well, I can fix it digitally, but I like to have a drawing. Alright, here's the scan. So you can kind of see how the pen was running out a little bit. A little busy in the middle, I think, so probably try to sort that out. So once I've scanned it in, I do all my fixes. Wasn't too much to do, just make things a bit darker, tidy up some shadows, add a few more around the figures in the middle to make them stand out. But yeah, not too much to fix at all. Then adding the 3 tones of grey brings it really to life, really happy with this part. So yeah, quite good. And then thinking about colours, I knew I wanted the magic to be kind of purpley. I like purple lightning and things like that, and then the eerie torches are green, and then everything else kind of a blue, with the top being kind of purple and blue. And then I had my effects, which is really just adding an outline to things, and you know, little bits of splashes here and there with the lightning, and that's pretty much it. We had the title, the Lich's Crypt, and there we have it. There's our mini dungeon for this week. Yeah, so it all went quite well. I'm really quite pleased with this. It might be my favourite one so far. I don't know. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Have a good one, folks. Bye now.